This is Spotlight Segment 2. Stay tuned for premium interviews, device unboxing and more.
Hi, John here, and today I'm going to be doing a demonstration and review of the Pixel tablet. I'm going to demonstrate it for you first in hub mode, then I'm going to follow that with a demonstration of using it as a tablet. And then after that, I will wrap up with my final thoughts, what I liked, what I didn't like, that sort of thing. I just want to warn you going into this that if you are not using headphones to listen to this and you have Google devices nearby listening, you might want to mute them because I'm going to be saying OKG a lot in this demonstration. All right, let's get right into it. Here's a little demonstration of the Pixel tablet in hub mode. So I have it on the dock now. And I have TalkBack enabled, so I'm just going to swipe through so we can see what's here.
Weather clock, web view.
Weather clock, web view. That's the main window, I guess.
Cast name, Pixel tablet, Windows System UI.
Cast name. That's if you want to cast to this device, that's what you would look for. And while we're on that subject, you can cast to this device as if it's a Chromecast. You can do a full screen cast or cast from apps, and it will continue to play even after you've taken it off the dock. That's one question I had.
Priority mode on, image.
Priority mode on.
Home, button.
Home. I'm going to go in here. These are the home controls.
Home, list. In progress, home. Cameras, 4 cameras. Lighting, 23 lights. Wi-Fi, 3 devices. Climate, 5 devices. Favorites label. Indoor 73, thermostat.
I'm going to go back
Favorites
to
label.
the lights.
Climate, 5, Wi-Fi, 3 devices. Lighting, 23 lights. Close screen, lighting. Close screen, button. Open in app, button. Selected, all on, button. All off, button. Collapsed, off, bedroom, light group.
Let's just turn all
off, button. All off, selected.
So now it's dark in here. I'm in my kitchen.
Collapsed, off, bedroom. Expand bedroom, button. Collapsed, off, kitchen, light group.
I'm going to turn this back on.
On 100%.
So now the kitchen lights are back
4
on.
100%.
I'm going to back out here.
Home, lighting, 23 lights.
So that's just a quick preview of the home control section. As you can see, TalkBack works great with it. It's a much better experience than Chromebox on a standard home hub display.
Device locked, lock screen, John. Weather.
So now I'm back to the lock screen.
Weather clock, web view. Cast name, Pixel tablet, priority mode on, image, home, button. 9:08.
Here's the time.
75 degrees Fahrenheit.
Weather. So one thing I want to mention is wherever you leave if you're going to leave TalkBack turned on, wherever you leave the focus, it's going to constantly update. So if you leave it
9:08
here on the time, every minute you're going to hear TalkBack announce the time. So you might see, perfect example there. So you might not want to leave the focus there.
75 degrees Fahrenheit.
Same with the weather, unless you're really obsessed with the weather and want to know every time it changes by 1 degree, don't put the focus there. So keep that in mind if you're going to leave TalkBack on. And TalkBack does every once in a while say things when you're not wanting it to. So for the most part, it doesn't talk while you're talking to it, which is a good thing. That would be bad when you're using Google Assistant if it talked. But that's not a problem, fortunately. But every once in a while, you'll hear a random notification or something, and it won't read the contents of your notification, but it'll say something like Gmail 3 notifications. So little annoyances like that. And here, I'll give you one example. I'm going to go into the living room. Okay, Google, what time is it?
It's 9:10 a.m.
So I wasn't even talking to the Pixel tablet here in the kitchen, but
Weather clock. Web view.
But as you could see, it did wake it up, and because it woke it up, it just randomly talked. So, TalkBack, I don't know, you might be better off just turning it off. You can do it with the regular shortcut, or you can just say, okay, Google, turn off TalkBack.
Turning TalkBack off.
Talkback off.
Okay, Google, turn on TalkBack.
Turning TalkBack on.
Talkback on.
All right, so
Weather.
now I'm going to just do a couple of demonstrations of using it with voice commands because it's been pretty inconsistent. So, for example, if I want to listen to something on Pandora, it'll work. Okay, Google, play Mayday Parade on Pandora.
Playing on Pandora.
Okay, Google, stop. So,
Lock screen. John.
as you can see, that works perfectly fine. But if I want to do something like, okay, Google, play the latest episode of Blind Android Users Podcast.
Got it. But first you'll have to unlock your device.
So it's making me come over to the display, unlock the device. And when I do,
Unlocked. Device unlocked.
play Blind Android Users Podcast, it just makes me say the command a second
Sure.
time.
Playing the latest episode of Blind Android Users Podcast. Blind Android Users Podcast, episode 133. Play Store Part 6, The Library. And a most awaited unboxing on...
Screen off. Ringer silent.
So I just turned off the screen, so it probably won't play it. But had I left it on, it would have started playing it, and then even after turning off the screen, it would have kept playing it, but it's annoying to have to unlock it. So, for example, okay, Google, play Stranger Things on Netflix.
All right. But first you'll have to unlock your device.
So see, I can't play anything on Netflix, but okay, Google, play Cars on Disney Plus.
Here's Cars on Disney Plus.
He brakes to a stop in the grass.
Okay, Google, stop.
McQueen speeds off.
So as you can see, it's
Lock screen. John.
very hit and miss, and a couple of things that you really feel like it should definitely do, it doesn't do. Like, for example,
Weather.
okay, Google, tell me the news.
For that, you'll have to unlock your device first.
So then I have to unlock the device and then say again, tell me the news, and then it does. Even something like a simple routine, like just the built-in
Unlock.
good night routine where I want to just have all the lights turn off, adjust the thermostat, run the vacuum, all the stuff that I do when I go to bed. I can't even say that to this device. Okay, Google. Okay, Google. Good night.
All right. But first you'll have to unlock your device.
So
Lock
as you
screen.
can
80% charging
see,
optimized to protect battery. John.
very basic stuff, even Google's own routines that are built in don't work with the screen lock. And hopefully this is something they'll fix in the future, but
Pin unlock. Weather.
and as you can see, it just talks randomly. So it's not the best experience. It's something that might be improved in the future. I'm hoping it's improved in the future because it's mostly, well, it's all software related as far as what I'm talking about now. So hopefully they can make it a more consistent experience. All right, so I'm just going to demonstrate the tablet use. So it basically behaves just as you would expect a Pixel device to behave, but I'm just going to touch on all the things that makes it different as far as tablet usage. So the first thing is fingerprint sensor. So it's on the power button, and to unlock the device, you just have to touch the button. You don't have to press it in. Just put your finger on it.
9:23 a.m. Fingerprint not recognized.
And of course, it doesn't recognize it the first
Unlocked.
time.
Device unlocked. Home. Wednesday, June 28th, 9:24 a.m.
So that not recognized happens a lot because the power button is flush. So it's hard to find. You know where it is, but a lot of times when you first put your finger on it, you don't put it on it directly. So, you'll probably get used to that over time, but I haven't gotten used to it yet. So now I'm here on the home screen, and I'm just going to describe the differences. So you still have this
Home. Search.
Pixel, or I should say Google search box at the bottom that you can't get rid of. But when you're holding your tablet in landscape mode, it's at the bottom left. So to the left of what you would call the dock. So instead of being above the dock, it's to the left of the dock. So it takes up less space on your home screen, I guess. And to the right of it,
Google app, but voice search button. Google Lens button. Gmail.
is where I have my dock icons.
Chrome. YouTube. Photos.
So, and if I turn it to
Portrait. Photos.
portrait, then it goes back to the phone or the phone layout where the dock is at the bottom and above that is the Google search bar.
Landscape.
So another difference you'll notice when using the tablet compared to the phone is the recent screen. I'm going to bring that up.
Recent apps. Home. Channels DVR.
So like on the phone, the first page it brings up is just a full thumbnail, basically, of the current app you're in or the last app you were in. But when you swipe two fingers to the right, there's small thumbnails. So there's about 6 small thumbnails to the left of the large thumbnail.
Photos.
So
Facebook.
you have
Messages.
a lot of
YouTube.
different
Messages. Channels DVR. Disney Plus.
apps to choose from without having to scroll. So it makes it a lot faster while you're swiping through
Channels DV. Facebook. Messages.
because it doesn't have to scroll
Photos. YouTube.
every time you swipe.
Selectable URL button. YouTube.
So that's a difference. Also, when you're in this recent screen, you also have your dock at the bottom with your icons, which
Chrome. Home.
makes me want to mention. So they have this new taskbar, which I'm trying to figure out the use of. I might be missing something, but as far as I can tell, it's no different than your dock, which you can get to from the home screen, and it's also at the bottom of the recent screen. So let's say you're in an app.
Recent apps. Home. Taskbar hidden. Google. Search.
So I'm in the Google app. So if you swipe up from the bottom just a little bit with 2 fingers,
Taskbar shown. Apps list. Gmail. Chrome. YouTube. Photos. Messages. Facebook.
it brings
Home.
up the
Recent
taskbar.
YouTube has 3 notifications.
So you have,
Task. Voice search button.
so it's hidden itself, but it brings up the taskbar, and that's quick access to your dock apps. And I guess one of the things you can do with it that you can't do with the dock or the recent screen is you can double tap and hold on an app and then drag it to either the left or the right side to start a split screen. But personally, I find it easier just to open the app I want, then go to the recent screen and choose split screen from there to start a split screen. But I guess that's just another way of doing it. And I think the dock is supposed to stay there. Let's see.
Taskbar shown. Apps list. Gmail. Chrome. YouTube. Photos. Messages. Facebook.
Excuse me, taskbar.
Home. Google.
So let's say I open
Photos.
photos from the
Photos.
taskbar.
Keep your memory safe. Keep your memories.
Yeah, it doesn't. So the taskbar goes away, so I'm not sure. If it stayed there, I guess I would get it. But it goes away when I use it, so I'm having a hard time understanding what it's for. Anyway, let me show you the keyboard.
Turn on backup. Button. Your photos and video.
I go home.
Home. Voice search. Button. Google app. Button. Search.
Just gonna go in the search box.
Search apps. Showing split keyboard. Editing. Search apps. Web and more. Edit box.
So
Showing English. US QWERTY.
I'm a bad keyboard typer, but I'm just gonna show you.
D. R. Romeo. T. Tank T. E. Echo E. D. Delta. S. D. S. S. T. T.
So I typed test. So you can type this on this with the split keyboard. So your thumbs can reach all of the keys on the keyboard. And I think some keys are even on both sides. Let me see.
J. Jewel H. Hope G. Golf.
Yeah, like for example, I can reach G with my right thumb.
G. F. G. Golf.
Or my left thumb.
G.
So the letter G is on both sides, so you don't have to remember where the keyboard splits. And I'll bring up the Braille keyboard.
Swipe up with 3 fingers for more options. Back.
But I'm not going to type on it because you have to use it in tabletop mode, and I'm holding it right now. So that's one thing that I found disappointing is because you're using a tablet, they assume you're going to want to use it in
Swipe up
table.
with 3 fingers for more options.
They're assuming you want to use it in tabletop mode. So there's not even a setting within the Braille keyboard settings to change it to adapt to how I hold the device or screen away mode. You have to type in tabletop mode, which I never type in, even with tablets. On my Samsung tablet, I could use screen away mode, but on the Pixel tablet, for some reason, they're not letting me. So that's pretty disappointing. So another thing that makes the tablet a little different from the phone is that when you swipe down for your
Quick
notifications,
settings and notification shade. 9:36 a.m. Wednesday, June 28th. Do not disturb. Wi-Fi signal full. Battery 86% until 12:15 a.m. Wi-Fi signal full.
okay, as you heard, it said quick settings and notification shade. So
Wi-Fi 3 bars.
you get both at the same time. The quick settings are on the left and your notifications are on the right. And so you don't have to swipe down twice to get to your full quick settings panel with the brightness setting and all that. Now, if I turn it to portrait,
Notification shade. 9:37 a.m. Wednesday, June 20th.
it still has both, but they're actually, no, it's like the phone.
Quick
So
settings.
I just get some quick settings and
9:38.
so you only get that tablet UI when it's
Landscape.
in
Quick
landscape.
settings and notification shade. Home. Wednesday, June 28th.
And I'll just mention, but I think this is obvious. A lot of the apps, especially Google's own apps, are formatted differently when you're holding it in landscape. Actually, when you're holding it either way. Because you're using a tablet, there's going to be something on the left and something on the right. So for example, if you're in settings, the list of the different setting groups will be on the left. And when you open one, it just appears on the right. So you don't have to go back to get to a different settings group if you want to. Same with messages, your list of conversations are on the left and the actual conversation that's selected is on the right and stuff like that. So I think I've touched on all of the main differences when using the UI when it comes to tablet usage versus phone usage, but basically this thing is a Pixel, so, just about everything you like about your Pixel, you're going to like about this, and whatever you don't like about your Pixel, you probably won't like about this. All right, I'm back. So the first thing I wanted to touch on is the sound quality. Obviously, this thing is going to sound much better when it's docked than when it's not docked. I think the speakers on it are decent for a tablet. I don't really have any complaints. I think it would be perfectly fine for watching a movie or something. But if you're listening to music on here, you're definitely going to want to dock it. It sounds much better docked. And just as a comparison, so I don't have the Nest Hub Max, but I do have the regular Nest Hub. And this Pixel tablet docked does sound better than the Nest Hub I have. Fuller sound, deeper bass, that sort of thing. I also have a Nest Audio, which is, as it is aptly named, just a speaker, no display. And that sounds much better than the Pixel tablet. So that's just a $100 Google Home speaker. And that sounds much better than this tablet, but I expected that, going in. This isn't going to be like blow you away with sound, but it is good sound for the size of it. And like I said, it is better than a standard Nest Hub. So first I'm going to talk about the things I do like about it. I do love the build. I think it feels very solid. It's lightweight. Now, it's made of metal, but it has a soft touch coating on it, so it doesn't feel metal, although it does feel sturdy. And I like the size of it. I like the shape of it. I like the fact that it has magnets in it, so you can attach it to your fridge. It has more. The interesting thing is it has more than just the magnets to attach it to the dock. It also has a magnet across the top, which makes me think Google was either planning on releasing a stylus for it and canceled it, or they have plans to do so in the future, because there's definitely a magnetic bar across the back of this near the top, and that is what helps it attach to the fridge if you wanted to take it in the kitchen while you're cooking or something and just stick it there. That is a perfectly good way to use it. They also have, this seems like a small thing, but they've put rubber feet on the bottom. So, and they're not noticeable. You have to kind of feel around them to find them. So they don't stick out too far, but they're just enough feet to where you can put this thing, like say you want to put it on your kitchen counter and just lean it against the wall. You can do that. It won't, the bottom of it won't slide out from under itself, because it does have these little rubber feet on there. I don't want to make it sound like this is something giant and noticeable. Most people probably would never even notice it, but when you do try to stand it up against something, it won't slip. So that's a good thing. Another thing I was pleasantly surprised with is it's pretty responsive. In fact, I think it might be more responsive than my Pixel 7 Pro as far as talkback usage. Just swiping between items and how long it takes the TTS engine to kick in. It's a lot faster than I thought it was going to be. Now, it's not as fast as using a Samsung device, but for a Pixel device, it's pretty good. Now I'm going to get into the things I don't like. Of course, you knew this was coming. I'm going to start by saying, now this, for most of our listeners, this probably won't matter, but the screen brightness isn't great. I know a lot of, I won't say all, but a lot of low vision users prefer a brighter screen or an OLED screen, which this does not have. So if you're hoping for a bright screen, this doesn't have a bright screen. I mean, it's a decent screen, but it's not as bright as what you would find on like a flagship Samsung tablet. Another thing that really disappointed me, and I mentioned this in last week's podcast, is the fact that it doesn't have haptics. I won't really go into it because I already did, but it's something you definitely miss when it's not there. And I think as a blind user, it is something you depend on to a certain extent. So just know that if you were planning on getting this, that's not going to have haptics. And the final thing that's sort of It doesn't bother me, but it's something I have to mention. This will not play audio through the hub speakers while it's docked if you have something connected to the USB port. So if you want to connect like a USB keyboard or something along those lines, first of all, it won't connect while it's docked. You'll have to take it off the dock, connect the USB accessory, and then connect it to the dock. It'll continue to work once it's back on the dock, but the dock won't use the speakers. So if, for example, if you planned to use this to play media off of a USB drive while connected to the dock and have it play that through the dock speakers, that's not something that you're going to be able to do in its current state. I know I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but hopefully this is something that can be fixed in the future with a software update, but who knows? So that's something I felt like I had to mention. Overall, I think this is a good tablet. If you like the Pixel experience on a phone and you just want a tablet version of that, that's what you're going to get here. I mean, it is called the Pixel tablet, so that's what you're going to get. I don't think you'll find any surprises. The only surprise for me was that it didn't have haptics. Other than that, it's a great experience. Do not get this for the hub experience, at least not in its current state. If you are like planning on letting this thing replace your home hub, that's not what it's for. You're not going to be happy with that. As you've seen in my demonstrations, it's a very inconsistent experience. TalkBack kind of talks in some situations when you don't want it to, so you'd have to remember to turn TalkBack off. I think maybe it'll get there someday, but as of right now, do not buy this expecting it to replace a home hub. If you don't have a home hub, this is definitely better than nothing, and I like the fact that you can use TalkBack on in-home hub mode, and that's a decent experience, and like I said, better than nothing, but it's not going to be as good as what you would get with just a regular home hub. So I hope this review has been helpful. Thank you for listening.